Welcome to part 1 of our 10-part series on the best LMSs out there. I'm Devin Hennig with SelectHub, and we've analyzed hundreds of LMS solutions, tested dozens ourselves, and worked with companies across industries to help them find the right fit. In this episode, it's all about the best LMSs by company size. In other words, what are the best LMSs for small versus mid-market versus enterprise? Buckle up, there's a lot to cover. But before we dive in, this video is sponsored by several LMS leaders, including our title sponsor, Absorb, as well as our other sponsors and partners, talentlms, Cornerstone, skyprep, kallidus, thinkific, and tovuti. What a stellar group of platforms. You can learn more about each of them through the links in the description and stick around to the end for more resources. All right, let's dive in. Best LMS platforms for small businesses. Smaller organizations often live in the LMS squeeze. They've outgrown spreadsheets and basic course platforms, but they don't have the time, budget, or headcount for a larger, more sophisticated LMS rollout. The best small and lower mid-market LMS platforms strike a balance. Simple enough for small HR or L&D teams to administer, powerful enough to cover core needs like onboarding, compliance, role-based training, and basic external training, fast to deploy, usually cloud-based with minimal IT involvement, and priced in a way that doesn't require an enterprise-level budget. Typical requirements at this level include ease of use for admins and learners, clean UI, minimal clicks, little to no formal LMS experience required, built-in course authoring and/or content libraries, so you can spin up onboarding and compliance content without buying a separate authoring tool or content vendor, solid reporting and basic analytics that let you track completions, scores, and overdue training by team, manager, or location, integrations with tools you already use. At this stage, that's typically HRIS, collaboration tools, and maybe your CRM or help desk. Mobile access, especially if you have frontline or distributed workers who don't sit at a desk. Another factor is time to value. Many small and mid-sized companies can't afford a 6 to 12 month deployment. LMS platforms that offer fast sign-up, guided configuration, and pre-built templates for common use cases like onboarding, compliance, and basic skills training tend to win here. Here are several LMS platforms consistently chosen by smaller businesses. Note, these are listed alphabetically. You can see the platforms on the left with notable callouts on the right. I won't read through every single one because we have a lot more to cover, but I recommend taking a screenshot and returning to this list later, then setting up demos to see them in action. There are also links in the description where you can get more detailed breakdowns feature by feature of various LMS systems in the SelectHub platform, as well as compare analyst scores. So there you go, good LMS options for smaller organizations. Before we move on, a quick shout out to our title sponsor, Absorb. Absorb is a leading AI-powered LMS designed to handle everything from onboarding and upskilling to customer education, partner enablement, and more in a single platform. And here's the kicker. With Absorb, you get a single unified platform that can meet the learning needs of all your stakeholders, including employees, customers, partners, and more. This means you don't have to worry about managing multiple systems or trying to integrate different platforms. Thanks to Absorb for supporting this series. Check them out through the link in the description to see if it's the right fit for your business. Now, back to the show. Best LMS platforms for mid-market organizations. As you move into the mid-market, challenges change. You're still resource constrained, but your training needs are more complex. Multiple locations or business units, growing regulatory and audit expectations, more structured onboarding and career paths, and often more than one audience. Employees plus customers, partners, or franchisees. Mid-market LMS buyers typically look for stronger automation and workflows, auto-enrolling learners based on role, location, or events, recurring compliance assignments, and automated reminders. Support for multiple audiences. For example, internal staff in one portal and customers or partners in another, with separate branding and catalogs. Richer reporting and dashboards. You're no longer just checking did they finish, but slicing data by department, manager, region, or customer segment. And stronger integration expectations with HR systems, CRM, customer success tools, and identity providers. Here are several platforms often chosen by mid-market organizations. Again, screenshot this list, and there are also links in the description where you can get a much more detailed breakdown feature by feature in the SelectHub platform, as well as compare analyst scores. Best LMS platforms for enterprise organizations. At the enterprise level, an LMS stops being just a training tool and starts functioning as global infrastructure. You're often dealing with multiple business units units and regions, multiple brands and learner audiences, stricter regulatory requirements, and higher expectations around analytics, automation, and integration. Enterprise-grade LMS platforms need to support multi-country operations, multi-language interfaces, support for distributed workforces, and audit-ready compliance reporting across regions. Data governance and security, fine-grained role-based permissions, audit trails, and alignment with internal security and data residency policies. Complex organizational structures, multi-portal or multi-tenant architectures so different divisions, brands, or external audiences can have their own experiences while still rolling up to central reporting. Deep integrations with enterprise systems, HR and HCM platforms like Workday, SAP, or Cornerstone's own suite, CRM systems, and data warehouses for BI and analytics. At this scale, implementation timelines are longer, often months rather than weeks, and enterprises frequently establish LMS centers of excellence or dedicated learning operations teams to manage governance and configuration. Here are several LMS platforms often chosen by large enterprises for their scalability, integration depth, and governance support. Again, screenshot this list and dive into the links for SelectHub's feature-by-feature comparisons. Our analysts have reviewed hundreds of LMSs in depth and ranked them with scores based on a myriad of factors, features, and use cases, so if you're in the market for a new LMS, you definitely don't want to miss these side-by-side comparisons. A little extra research could save you a ton of time and resources later. Once again, links to the SelectHub platform in the description. There you have it, an overview of some of the best LMSs depending on your company size, from small to mid-market to enterprise businesses. For more LMS resources, including SelectHub's database of analyst scores and feature comparisons, check out the links in the description. One more big thank you to the LMS sponsors who made this series possible, including our title sponsor, Absorb, as well as our other sponsors and partners, talentlms, cornerstone, skyprep, kallidus, thinkific, and tovuti. Each of these brings unique value depending on your industry and growth stage. Links are in the description. That's it, that's all. See you in the next episode. Cheers.